Chapter 1. Tung and the Starfruit. In a small village nestled between rolling hills and green pastures, Tung, a poor farmer, toiled tirelessly on his modest land. He spent most of his days tending to his crops, but despite his hard work, his fields yielded meager harvests, barely enough to feed his family. One day, as Tung was making his way through his small orchard, he stumbled upon an unusual tree. Its branches stretched high into the sky, heavy with bright, yellow fruits that were shaped like stars. Intrigued, Tung reached up and plucked one of the fruits. He took a bite, and as the sweet, tangy juice exploded in his mouth, he knew that he had stumbled upon something special. Tung quickly gathered all the starfruits he could find and loaded them onto his cart. He knew that he could sell them at the market for a good price, but he had no idea just how much they would fetch. As he journeyed towards the city, the sun beat down on him, and his cart bumped along the dirt road. But Tung's spirits were high, and he could not help but daydream about the wealth that his starfruit might bring him. And as he finally reached the market and began to hawk his wares, people quickly took notice of the unusual fruit. They clamored around him, eager to taste the sweet, juicy starfruit for themselves. And as Tung watched the gold coins pile up in his hands, he knew that his life would never be the same again. Little did Tung know, however, that his discovery of the starfruit tree was just the beginning of an incredible journey of perseverance, generosity, and the power of a single act of kindness to change the world. Chapter 2. The Golden Trade. As the gold coins clinked in Tung's hand, he couldn't believe his luck. His cart full of starfruit had fetched a higher price than he ever could have imagined. With the coins in his possession, he could finally afford to buy new seeds and tools for his farm, and perhaps even provide a better life for his family. As he made his way back to the village, he couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. He had taken a risk by harvesting the starfruit, and it had paid off in a big way. But little did he know, an even greater surprise awaited him. As he was journeying back, Tung crossed paths with a wealthy merchant who was traveling in the opposite direction. The merchant noticed the starfruit in Tung's cart and was immediately intrigued. "Where did you get this fruit?" asked the merchant, eyeing the starfruit with curiosity. "It's from my farm," replied Tung, a little taken aback by the merchant's interest. The merchant inspected the fruit carefully and then turned to Tung with an offer that made his head spin. "I'll give you a bag of gold coins for your entire cart of starfruit," he said. Tung couldn't believe his ears. A whole bag of gold coins for the starfruit he had been selling for just a few coins each? It was a fortune beyond his wildest dreams. Without hesitation, Tung accepted the merchant's offer, and the two men exchanged goods. Tung watched as the merchant rode off with the cart full of starfruit, and then clutched his bag of gold coins close to his chest. As he continued his journey back to the village, Tung felt a sense of excitement and anticipation building inside him. He knew that the coins he now possessed would change his life forever, but he couldn't wait to see just how far they would take him. Little did he know, however, that the true value of his newfound wealth lay not in what he could do for himself, but in what he could do for others. Chapter 3. A New Life. As Tung arrived back in his village with his bag of gold coins, he could feel the eyes of his neighbors on him. They had never seen so much wealth in one place before, and Tung could tell that his newfound prosperity was the talk of the town. But as he reunited with his family, Tung knew that his wealth was not just for show. He immediately set about making improvements to his farm and home, buying new tools, and fixing the roof that had been leaking for years. But Tung's generosity did not stop there. He also used his wealth to give back to the community that had supported him through his struggles. He donated money to the local school, allowing them to buy new textbooks and supplies. He also helped his neighbors fix up their homes and gardens, knowing that his good fortune could bring joy and comfort to others. As he looked around at the changes he had wrought, Tung realized that the true value of his wealth lay not in the coins themselves, but in what he could do with them. He had gone from a struggling farmer to a pillar of the community, using his resources to improve the lives of those around him. And as he lay down to sleep that night, Tung knew that his life would never be the same again. He had been blessed with the good fortune to find the starfruit tree, but it was his perseverance and generosity that had truly transformed his life and the lives of those around him. Little did Tung know, however, that his good deeds would have an even greater impact on the world around him. Chapter 4. The Power of Generosity. Tung's acts of generosity had not gone unnoticed. Word of his good deeds had spread throughout the village and beyond, inspiring others to give back and make a difference in their communities. As Tung walked through the streets of his village, he could see the changes that his actions had brought about. The school was thriving, with students eager to learn and teachers equipped with the tools they needed to teach. His neighbors' homes and gardens were flourishing, and the sense of community spirit was stronger than ever. But the ripple effects of Tung's actions extended far beyond his small village. His story had traveled far and wide, inspiring others to give back and make a difference in their own communities. People from all over came to visit him, seeking his advice and guidance on how they could use their own resources to help those in need. Tung had become a symbol of hope and generosity, showing that even the smallest act of kindness can have a profound impact on the world around us. As Tung reflected on the changes he had brought about, he knew that the power of generosity was truly limitless. By giving back and helping others, he had not only transformed his own life but had inspired others to do the same. And so, as Tung settled down to enjoy the fruits of his labor, he knew that his story would continue to inspire and motivate others for generations to come. The power of generosity had transformed his life, and he knew that it had the power to transform the world around us as well. Chapter 5. A Beloved Crop and a Legendary Farmer. As time passed, Tung's starfruit crop continued to thrive, becoming a beloved staple of the village. People from all over would come to buy the delicious fruit, and Tung's farm became a must-visit destination for anyone passing through. But Tung was no longer just a farmer, he had become a legend in his own right. His story had spread far and wide, inspiring countless others to overcome their own struggles and embrace the power of generosity. And so, when Tung passed away many years later, he was mourned not just by his own village but by people from all over the world who had been touched by his story. But Tung's legacy lived on. The starfruit tree he had discovered continued to flourish, providing a bountiful crop year after year. And the spirit of generosity that he had embodied continued to inspire people to make a difference in their communities. And so, as the years turned into decades and the decades into centuries, Tung's name became synonymous with kindness, perseverance, and the power of giving back. He had transformed his own life and the lives of those around him, and his story would continue to inspire and motivate people for generations to come. And so, as the sun set over Tung's village, casting a warm glow over the starfruit trees and the bustling community below, people would whisper his name with reverence and gratitude, remembering the legend of the farmer who had traded starfruit for gold and changed the world with his generosity.
Thank you for listening to this tale. We hope you enjoyed it, and we would be delighted if you considered subscribing to our channel for more captivating stories. To stay up to date with our latest updates and upcoming projects, we also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you love reading stories, be sure to check out more tales on our YouTube channel. Thank you for your support.